today we're going to talk about music production habits. And one habit in particular. One habit so simple that you can do it in literally 2 clicks. It's simple, but when it compounds over time, it can have a tremendous effect on your music production. And if done right, it can even make you some money. So, what is that magical habit? Well, it's just exporting stuff. You know? And yes, I know what you're thinking. How can it be that good? I already have my sample packs, my presets, and they're professionally curated. Why would I need to export more stuff? My friend, I would like you to picture 2 scenarios. Scenario 1. You click off this video, nothing much changes, and 5 years down the line, your music might have improved, but you're still struggling to find that unique sound as an artist. It's not quite there yet. And music isn't really paying the bills, so you go get a degree, find a job, get a mortgage, start a family. You already know where I'm going with this. Now, picture scenario 2. You keep watching and you start implementing the exporting system that I'll show you in this video. And 5 years later, you're going to have an enormous library of your own unique sample. You will have mastered the art of creative sampling and developed your own irreplicable unique sound as an artist. You've done so well, actually, that now people are trying to sound like you. They want to copy your style. So, what do? That's right, you sell sample packs to them. And by the way, you already have an enormous collection of samples, so no extra work needed here. So, you sell tons of sample packs, you buy a mansion, drive a Bugatti, you're rich! But you're not happy. You got so caught up in the grind that you forgot to nurture your relationships with the people that mattered most to you. You feel lonely. You wonder what life could have been. You regret not having started that family.
Why the f*** did I have to watch that video?
Sucks to be that guy, huh? Yeah. What were we just talking about? Yeah. Exporting stuff. Back to the topic at hand. So, this video is actionable, and you've just arrived at the first actionable step. I want you to pause this video and create a new folder where you will store all your sounds. Call it My Samples or something like that. So do that right now. You back? Great. Now let's address the workflow. Here's your second actionable step. I want you to answer this question. How many projects have you started but never finished? A fuck ton, right? Now, if you looked hard enough in any given project, how hard would it be to find at least one redeeming quality about it? I mean, yeah, there's probably very good reasons why you decided that these projects should never see the light of day, but more likely than not, there's at least one thing worth saving in there. It might be as simple as a single kick sound, but it could also be like an experimental synth or a cool bass preset that you poured your heart into. My friend, you see what I'm trying to say here. You're putting in a lot of effort, but a majority of it is going to waste. And it doesn't have to be like that, you know? Now, the next time you realize that you're just doodling around in a project and you already know for a fact that you're not gonna end up finishing it, instead of closing the project without saving and crying for the rest of the afternoon like you usually do, instead, try making the most of it and turn this into a sound design session. For example, if you approach making the hat loops in a different way than usual and you liked how they turned out, export them and maybe make some more loops in a similar way. And yeah, save stuff from your good projects as well. Actually, do it even more in them. I want you to export everything. Drum shots, drum loops, bass, pads, melodies, vocals, everything. So here's your third actionable step of this video. Go into one of your projects, find something cool, and export it. Oh, wait. I didn't show you how to do that yet. Okay, let's fix that. Let me do that now. Now, even if you know how to export, there's still a couple of nuances that most people don't know about, so stick around. So let's say, for example, that I want to export this cool synth here that I have in session view. So first I need to drag it into arrangement view, and I want to make sure the track is soloed so that nothing else gets exported. And I want to select just the section that I want to export, and now I can start exporting. In Ableton you can use the shortcut Command-Shift-R for that. And now we're faced with the export settings. If it's your first time exporting, this can be a bit overwhelming, but don't worry, I'm going to be gentle, okay? So first off, turn on normalization. This, in my opinion, is pretty important because it brings everything up to a standard level and it saves you a lot of headache because you don't have to think about the loudness of your samples. And now if you're going to export things, you better export them in the highest quality possible. So for that, turn on PCM exporting. I choose the WAV format because I think it's the most widely supported one. It has the best compatibility. And don't forget to set the bit depth to 32. Oh, and also I recommend you to set the sample rate to 48 kHz. Why 48? Well, to put it simply, it's more accurate than 44 kHz, and anything over 48, well, it's just overkill, in my opinion. And also you can turn off MP3 encoding so that you don't get a second unnecessary file. And finally, press export. Feels good, doesn't it? Now, in terms of organizing the samples, I suggest giving them very simplistic names, like Kick01 or Synth11, Drumloop05, you get the idea. It's so that it's easy to sort them alphabetically. You can make separate subfolders for drums, melodic elements, or your experimental stuff, and don't make too many unnecessary folders. You really only need a few. Awesome, I'm super excited for you to start exporting. If you make it a habit, you'll have a huge library of sounds before you know it. But you might be wondering, what the heck do I do with all these samples now that I have them? Am I now just supposed to start reusing old loops? Absolutely not. I mean, you can, but there's cooler ways to go about it. Now that you have this huge library of your own samples, you have so many new possibilities in front of you. Creative sampling is a beautiful thing, and there's infinite ways to go about it. I could ramble on for days, but I'm just going to give you a couple of ideas that I want you to play with. So, I encourage you to pitch the samples around, maybe change their playback speed, try out different warp modes, or even maybe loop a small snippet of the sample to try and find some interesting rhythms. Also, go crazy with the effects. Here's a list of some underrated Ableton stock effects that I really like. You can check out whichever one sounds most interesting to you out of these. And by the way, once you have those ideas, I want you to export them as well so that you can process them even more later. But there's one more technique that I really like. It allows you to generate completely new ideas from already existing samples without using effects. It involves using Ableton's feature of the launch mode. And if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, I talk about that more in this video. See you there.